Hi everyone. Thank you so much for your support. I'm alive. So I did say that I was going to come back to us to share my thoughts. You know, on test six, specifically the research side of test six. And when I say research, I'm referring to like prospecting, which is what we've been doing over the last 2 weeks, I guess. Prospecting. For the first time, I have like a note that kind of like looks like a script that would help me, pass this message on a bit better. All right. So, I mean, the thing was, I started with like 5 countries, and then I added like 4 more countries to it. I think it was 5 more. Let's see. Yes. So I added like 5 more countries, which is South Africa, Colombia, Belize, El Salvador, Paris, and Belize happens to be like a very peaceful place. El Salvador too. I mean, it's not like they're not crime rates, but I definitely would never be able to compare them to what I had on South Africa, Colombia, Paris, and then the initial places Bali, Thailand, sorry, Bali, Thailand, Indonesia, those places I did that first. Vietnam, uh, and the Philippines, yes. Anywho, I feel like test six for me at the beginning was difficult because I hadn't thought of it before I started the 100 journeys in 100 days. So when I started the 100 journeys in 100 days, if you've been following the journey, I must have said this before. I went to market. So this is like a GTM process, go to market process that I've built that I'm implementing even before 100 journeys in 100 days. But when I started 100 journeys in 100 days, the only thing I had was an idea. I'm a marketing person, so I knew I was going to do marketing, obviously. But I didn't know what form it would take, what shape it would take. I just started to trust myself enough to figure it out, to get creative. And if there's anything I've learned is that when I set a goal, my mind and creativity expand to match that goal. I'm going to be explaining this a bit better sometime later before the end of the challenge or at the end of the challenge. I like giving like specific examples. So I was like, oh, okay, 100 days is crazy, but I'm going to do it anyway and I'll see what comes out of it. So it was along the lines of, just doing 100 journeys in 100 days first for our B2B marketplace, right? Yeah, B2B2C marketplace. So with our B2B2C marketplace, all we're doing is that we're verifying tour operators using compliance and proprietary questions logics, which we have tried manually and it's worked. So right now what we're doing is just scaling that. And I just wanted to get like more people in, the customers, which is like the traveler side of things, and that's what the 100 days is for. And like we're doing the 100 days, it was cool. And I don't know how I hit like an inflection point. Okay, so during the 100 days, I've hit several inflection points, but I hit one on a specific day. I think it's just been a lot of studying minimum viable products is an MVP. I think what I'm looking for is minimum viable monetizable product, MVMP. And I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking. I thought to myself, subscriptions are actually a thing. But then again, when I had the idea, I was worried. I was worried because I was like, oh, this 100 journeys thingy, yeah, it's just for a marketplace. So how do I like add subscriptions to this? Will my attention not be diluted? I'm a stickler for focus. Whatever it would take me to be focused, I would do it. If it means leaving people, if it means leaving places, if it means shutting down every other thing that I could potentially be doing at that time. I'm just doing like maybe 2 things. I can manage 2 things. I could manage 3 things. And so when I had the idea, I'm like, okay, so how is this gonna work? Yada, 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 yada. But I still thought, oh, let me just trust myself and see how it pans out. And that's how I moved on to like test six to say that okay, now we can now begin to sell like a travel safety concierge service alongside what we're doing, and then that would even get us to market faster because it's very affordable, right? It's just like subscription plans, and even you can even pick it as you go. So if you travel to a place and you're like, or say you're planning by yourself, and for this you don't even have to be like a customer of Zago Tours, right? You don't have to like purchase your trip from Zago Tours. You run into an incident, you can come to us. Or if you're planning your trip by yourself and you're like, I need like a double assurance. I've never been to this place before. I'm going to this place, but the things that I've heard about it, they're not all that nice. Yeah, there were nice parts and some parts are not nice. Okay, you pick a subscription, whatever suits you, or you can like do a pay as you go kind of thingy. And when it happens, you pay whatever. And I remember just saying to myself, like, this actually makes sense. Like when I was just conceiving the idea, I'm like, this makes crazy sense because I feel like it would work together. We'd even get more people into our ecosystem because they do not necessarily now have to be lovers of adventure tours. They can just be like travelers, solo travelers, beach travelers, whatever, so long they like need what we're offering. But then I was conflicted. I was conflicted because I felt like, how do I merge these two possibilities? How am I able to do this that it doesn't even look like I'm distracting myself? Because if I can't sell it to myself, I cannot sell it to you or whoever is looking at me or catching on the live. And then I just started thinking. And I said, okay, fine. I'm just going to test it out, and we would see. And so when I said it was difficult, that's what I meant. But I mean, it's proving to like being the most enjoyable for me. I've always loved to interact with people. Yeah. I mean, my friends will argue differently, but yeah, I love to interact. It's just that I love to do my own way, my own space. I don't like to always be like outside of it. But yeah. Anywho, so yeah, so after weeks of speaking with victims of travel incidents, reading comments, I thought like who is best to like. So I wanted to like share the next phase for us. So I wrote this note to myself, anyways. I had this idea like a week ago. Yeah, when I was thinking about the case studies and after finding all our case studies, I'm like, so what next? And then something like nano influencers came to my mind, and then I penned it down, and then I underneath it, gathering profiles of victims to become advocates. Yep. And I also thought about like getting those videos. I mean, people who have gone through stuff or posted their videos, getting their permission to post and then promote their video like when the time is right. But anyway, this is where we're like starting from. This is where we're continuing from like over the next 5 days. I thought to myself that okay, we want to get this to people as much as we can. I was just thinking about this yesterday night, and I was saying, but we need structure. I am always a stickler for starting with yes, the market is a very big market, but I like to like start with a small portion of the market and then move to like the other portions of the market. Or automatically when the other portions of the market see that we're doing something attractive for a smaller portion of the market, they themselves like call for us to say, okay, we now need you to impact a more bigger market. And I thought that the victims of I feel like anybody can speak to safety, honestly. But for you to speak to safety in the way that we want you to, you must have gone through it. So I was thinking to myself, maybe the next 5 days could just be me going back to like places like TikTok, like Facebook, and getting profiles of people who have been through like travel safety issues, and then getting into like join the platform, but not only join the platform to then become advocates for this kind of safety. I feel like if my thoughts, my hypothesis is that say that if terrible scenario, but yeah, if my phone had been snatched at gunpoint, and when people are talking about robbery, of course, there's a trauma side to it, but then I feel like my reaction to robbery will be different from somebody that has never gone through robbery, right? So I feel like people who are like victims of these things would speak to it differently than someone who has never experienced it, who has never been through it, and doesn't even understand what it means or what's happening around it. And that's why I thought, okay. But then I also, when I was thinking about that, I thought to myself that, okay, so if you say you're going to victims who have gone through this, for most of them, they've gone through it, yes, they've moved on, but they are always willing to share with me when I speak to them. And I was telling myself, so how do I balance out the fact that most of them might be like big accounts? Because initially I thought about nano influencers like a week ago, and then this week I'm like, oh no, I don't think. And then I told myself that if I send a message to somebody and they respond to me, I feel like that's enough. That's enough. What's that word? Signal that they're interested in what I'm talking about. And honestly, what we're doing is not like a contest show. It's not like a popularity show. we honestly just want to help people, right? And I've had people who have come to me and say, okay, yes, I want to help, yada, 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 yada. And then I thought to myself again, how do I start this, right? I mean, gathering numbers of victims. Yeah, I've reached out to victims, but I didn't gather. And then I let some victims out because their stuff happened like a long time ago. So I thought to myself that how about because we're going to be from Q2, sorry, not from Q2, like end of Q2, that's June next year. I'm going to be doing our first pilot where I'm going to be traveling to Thailand, Bali, and is it Vietnam right now or the Philippines? One of those, I think it's the Philippines, to get data and then inform a couple of other things. And I thought to myself that okay, maybe I should just focus on victims in those areas. It would help me have concentrated effort, work efforts, and it would then begin to like build the seed for what we're coming to do in those places. And just in case somebody else somewhere says that oh somebody had been to Bali and they're on our platform or they're an advocate for like safe travel and they think that um they would like to join our platform because maybe they're going through something elsewhere. They could join if they want to. But basically, I feel like bringing victims together at this point will give us the kind of passion that we need to make this work. Of course, there are victims. I've spoken to like one victim. I was like, yeah, I love what you're doing, but right now I don't have time because there's also the case of that. Then again, I thought to myself that it just means that I have to now define the terms of engagement for victims. Because, I mean, if you're bringing them on board, honestly, I think at this point, because of what we are, maybe the only thing, then again, I thought about, okay, so even if you have like a victim as an advocate, right? What's in it for them? At the end of the day, everybody wants to do good stuff, but then, I mean, there has to be something in it for them. And then I thought I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, will they like get a fee or something sorry, we did like get a fee of somebody's subscription or whoever registers on us through their link and then uses it. Because again, do not forget that even if somebody uses their link to register and even if somebody uses their link to register and what's that word? And we attend to somebody, let's say it's a £30 service and we pay because again whoever is an advocate is not the person attending to the client directly, it's a local ambassador that's attending to the client directly. In that case, how would that work? Anyways, I've not figured out that flow, but it was part of the things that I thought about. And eventually I just think that we have to think of a commission or something or pay them back in points that's redeemable as a trip over time. Yeah, I mean until I talk to people honestly I wouldn't really know, right? Yeah, because sometimes you say you're going to pay people in points and they look at like, oh, the life cycle of me getting these points is way longer. But if you're paying in commission, the life cycle of me getting it in like a month, two, or every quarter is very low. Yeah. And then sometimes you get extremely good people who are interested in what you do and they don't care about what's in it for them. They just care about can I help you get your message to a lot more people? Are you doing something great that I'm very, very interested in? Anyway, that's something I've not figured out. Um, okay. Yeah. And another thing I thought of was like the idea that we're going to be having advocates is supposed to be structured to work for regular travelers, of course, because again, at the end of the day, in as much as something bad can happen to, I mean, something bad can happen to both an influencer, a content creator, and just like a regular traveler who is doing it for the thrill of it, but also post on social media. I thought about the distinction between those three personalities, maybe personality type. And then I was thinking to myself that, oh, okay, again, because I'm a marketing strategist, I'm able to look at the beginning from the end and the end from the beginning. And so sometimes when I build these structures, it may look complicated at the start, and then that's where priority comes in. And I just told myself that, it doesn't matter if you are a content creator, you're an influencer, or you're just like a normal traveler, right? At the end of the day, if you tell me yes, that's the signal that I will take that what we're building matters to you and you're interested in helping people you're interested in shaping travel through your experience. Honestly, and that's about it for me. Yep. And so that's it. Like the next phase is just like getting contacts of people who have gone through these safety issues and travel incidents, specifically the ones that we can solve. Mm, I'm gonna start getting those contacts tomorrow. So it doesn't matter when it happened to them, how far long it has happened to them. Honestly, the most important thing is, are they ready? Are they willing to advocate for it? Are they willing to share their story? I would have said, I mean, maybe I could do like a short. Okay, so there's this thing we used to have actually. Not used to, I still have it, but I've not gotten around to do it. Because as of today, I'm the only person at Zakotoa, same person, building product roadmap, operations, partnerships, strategies. And so the temptation around that is that sometimes I do certain things, then I get results, and then I double down on it. But then we enter like a different phase. It's how it is with building startups. You're constantly moving in the early days, honestly. And so I started triple those stories, but I didn't continue with it in that sense. So maybe this could even be a way to like go back to it. It's just a very short 5 minutes, no long story podcast where I feature like stories of travelers. And so maybe this might be an entry point. I don't know. If anything changes, I have also decided that I'll post my 100 Journeys in 100 Days challenge. Every once in a while, I keep updating my YouTube, sharing the journey as we continue to go. Right. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Yes, so tomorrow we're going back to perspective. Thank you. Bye.